Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show. And today the title is The Bottom In, or is this just a dead cat bounce fake out? We're going to answer that and a whole bunch more. Before we do that, smash the like button. This does help get this channel out to more people, and of course does help support the channel. And if you're new, welcome to the channel. Hit that subscribe button and you'll get the daily updates. So first of all, let's look at a couple of posts that I've made here, which is, first of all, drop to 108k Bitcoin, 5.4 billion in longs likely get liquidated, and a break above 118,000 and 4 billion in shorts get wiped out. It's quite possible that both get hit at some point. Which one gets tagged first? I want to know your thoughts in the comments. Do we see a drop to 108, or are we going to hit 118? All right, so what we're going to look at, of course, next is August. Now, from time to time, I do these statistics here, and I thought it was very interesting that the Bitcoin lows of the month, the average for all of August is the 12th, August the 12th. Now, if you just take only the post-halving years, it tends to come a little bit earlier on average by the 4th, which is actually today. If we base it off the average, then the low could be in today, or would be yesterday, of course, or the day before, whenever that Bitcoin low came in. We'll have a look at the moment. However, I like this. From monthly open to the low of the month, the average dip across all years was a 17% drop. And from the monthly open to the low of the month on post-halving years, the average dip was around 7.7. Now, we only a dip around 3%. So it'll be interesting to see when the low of the month, but generally it's come in early. And of course, the average across all August that it was in within the first 2 weeks by the 12th. And we didn't really see a drop lower. I think 10% was the most on a post-halving year, and the least was around 5%. And of course, then you could see huge variances on all months. Now, again, historically speaking, the August months has essentially been green for the post-halving years. So 2021 green, 2017 green, and 2013 green. So those are anomalies apart from 2020, and we can really expect, because of all the stimulus spending, so we can take that one out, that apart from because of all the huge injection of cash that came into the US economy, we can take that one out, that really it's only been green. Otherwise, it's been one of the worst performing months. Now, of course, the worst performing month is September, with that minus 3.77% average there. And then second worst is June. And then the third worst is August, actually, which comes out with a plus 1.53%. However, if you take away a couple of these here, this is what really brings it up. Otherwise, it's been pretty dismal or abysmal. So I want to know your thoughts. Will August close green, or will it close red? And here's the interesting thing about August, by the way. We could pump all month and have a huge drop just before the month closed to close negative, and it would have been considered quite a profitable month for most. However, it could be red all month, and everybody could be just making money on shorts or sitting waiting for some kind of bounce, and then suddenly it pumps at the end of the month and goes green. So don't always look at these as it's just really the story of the end of the month, how it closes. It doesn't always show what happens throughout the month, which is why I did show this data here. This data has been quite important, was that generally the low of the month for August does come in near the beginning. And so when you look at the post-halving years, it has a bit of a dip early, and then it finishes green. And then on all the other years, and this includes the post-halving, I should have actually done a stat which showed all the months that weren't post-halving, and you can see that there was quite severe dips, and it wasn't able to recover by the end of the month. In fact, it probably didn't even recover until later in September or October. Let's keep an eye on that. And what are some things, what are the line in the sand and what's going to help us tell that? I'm so glad you asked. Let's have a quick look here at the Bitcoin chart. So what we can see here is I did warn you about the Bart Simpson and said it would come back and retrace that entire move, and it did that exactly as I said it would. And then I said it would come down to the 50-day moving average. It did that exactly as well. And it found some support there. Now, of course, I didn't know what was going to happen when it got to the 50-day moving average. I did think that it would initially find some support. However, I didn't know whether it was going to break down further or not, or whether it was going to have a bit of a bounce. Well, it's had a bit of a bounce. That's good. However, what is our line in the sand? There's a couple of plays here, and I'm going to just share them with you. Number one, the 9 EMA on the daily at 115.300. You can see when we broke out here on the 23rd of June, we got the tribal trades indicator. That gave us our early entry. We also had a beautiful tribal trades trend line there as well. One line to rule them all. So we had a double there. And then as we came through, we broke above the 9 EMA, and the 9 broke above the 20. And then this has been our guiding support all the way up. So as soon as we lost that support, now we had lost that support a couple of times, as you can see, but the 20 EMA is always held. This case, the 20 EMA got lost, and that was where I exited the Bitcoin trade there. So it was a great trade all the way from the 23rd of June all the way up here around the end of July there. Absolutely fantastic trade. And now where do we get back in, or do we stay out? Now, if we were to break above here, the 9 EMA on the daily with some volume there, and we can turn our volume indicators on. I won't turn it on for the moment, but there are several volume indicators there. And if we can break above with volume and have a nice close, and really we'd want to close above the 20 because they're so close. We don't want to close in between there. And we close above the 20 EMA on the daily. These are sitting above about 115, so about 116. What's going to happen is that 9 will actually curl back. And we saw it over here where we came up and then we came down, and it curled down and it came back up. And look how it curled down, then it came back up before finally going down and up again. And so we might see something similar to this, where you see these little drops here, this little drop here, which is just part of a bit of a sideways. And in the end, the move started all the way back here in April. And this was the original entry I gave all the way back in April at about 74,000. And we saw it come up. And then we see this where we think, oh, the move's over, and the 9 goes below the 20 and comes up, goes below the 20 and then comes up again. So we could see something like that, where this comes down and then this breaks through and goes up. So where would I look to get back into Bitcoin? I would look to get back in on getting above that 9 EMA on the daily. And I'd like to see a daily close and then another daily open and close above that. This is what we saw here. We saw a daily close and then it opened and closed above. So very, very important. Again, here we saw a daily close. There's the top of the candle closing, and then daily open and close before it went up there. So that's what I'm looking for Bitcoin. Also, we could see a green dot on the daily time frame. We don't see it yet, but if we saw that green dot on the daily time frame, those in the Tribal Trades Discord is encouraging that you always trade the trend. The trend is, of course, down. You can see clearly down. We're making lower lows and lower highs every day. However, there are always these little bounces. If we continue to the downside, let's just say we reject off the 9 EMA and then continue and make a lower low. You don't want to be caught taking a trade and then it's all the way down here. So you trade the trend, but you do get these little bounces. You can take longs on these bounces. This would have been a nice trade from 112 up to 115, for example. And if it breaks through, you can stay in the trade. And so now if we reject here, so let's look at the second scenario that could play out, a rejection here off the 9 EMA on the daily time frame, and then we would expect to come back and retest, and we could just bang around in here for a little bit and go sideways, which is quite possible. However, this will continue down. And so the price eventually will get to the point where the 9 will cross below the 50 and the 20 will cross below the 50, and we just get squeezed to the downside like this here. And so it won't keep banging its head on 115. Tomorrow 115 will be 114 or 113. The longest day we stay below price, the more these will point down. While these EMAs are pointing down, that is bearish. The more of them that point down, the more bearish price action is. Now, of course, we don't want to lose our lovely support line here at the 50-day moving average. That would jeopardize our inverse head and shoulders pattern that we have here. Certainly that would jeopardize that at around about 109,000. I wick down to 108, 107, even down here to 105 is fine. But if we close below that, that's going to invalidate this beautiful inverse head and shoulders pattern that has a target of 145. So I've given you two things that could happen there, two alternatives. One is that we break through, close, and have another daily open and close, and that would be a reversal. And if that happened, we would get a green dot there. And of course, remember on the weekly time frame, we do have the red dot there, the bearish reversal, and that's tended to lead to some downside. Now, the last time we had one, it only really lasted one. We got the red dot a week in between, and then we got a green arrow reversal. So it is possible, just because you had the red dot, that you can have a reversal as soon as, within this week, we could see that reversal. Okay, so just because we've seen the red dot doesn't mean that we're going to have a December down to April kind of drop, or a February down to April drop, and it's going to last that long, although it could. And you can see the left shoulder ahead, and if we got a right shoulder here, then we could see a head and shoulders pattern play out, and we could have a big dump and drop to the downside there. Okay, let's have a look over at total 2. Total 2's in a similar place there. We've got the same thing going on here with total 2, a break above and another open and close, and we're off to the races and we're back in the game. But otherwise, if we reject off here, we can break down further. I wouldn't be surprised if we came all the way down to the 50 EMA on the daily or the 50-day moving average there, okay? So there we have it. Beautiful tribal trades indicator, again, calling the exact top for the altcoin market. If you'd followed this there, and even though we had a little bit of reversal, ultimately we've got another arrow to confirm to the downside there. If you're looking to get into the tribal trades indicator, it is a paid indicator. However, you get it as part of your tribal trades Discord membership. Okay, it comes part of that. There's no extra cost to it. There is a channel there. This is how you get signed up. You sign up for the Discord, and then you go straight to this channel and you fill in the form to get your invitation for the tribal trades indicator. Comes with the Discord there, and you can see all the other wonderful channels that we have, the life-changing gains trading course, the trading university that we have that also comes part of the Discord, and all the other wonderful channels that are there. Now, just to note that the Tribal Trades Discord is currently closed. However, there is a wait list, so you can get on the wait list. There is a link below in the description of this video, okay? And you can click the top link. Now, you might need to click the more button. Some people go, oh, I'm looking for the description, can't find it. Click the more button. That will pop out, and there's the Tribal Trades Discord sign up. You can get on the wait list. We will be opening up the Discord again this year. We last had it open in June, and we held it open right for the first week of July. I will be letting you know when that will open again in the future, but sometime before the end of this year, we will open it. And if you get on the wait list, then you get priority access, because we only take so many signups each time that we open, and then we close it off. However, there is also an opportunity. From time to time, you have people that aren't able to renew their subscription. And then if that does happen, I do move people on the wait list. So the higher you up on the wait list, then you get that early opportunity to get access even before, possibly months before we even open it up again. All right. Well, that is all we have time for today. That's it. I hope you enjoyed the update today. And of course, until the next episode, or until I see you in the Discord, happy trading.